welcome to some cut units for Rome Total War. Some of these were like meant to be in the alpha version, the beta version, pre-release version, whatever you want to call it. Some of these were in the TV shows that were made to try and sell the game, but still they do count as cut content, as I believe some of them were actually planned to still be in the game. So yeah, and as promised, there's actually, I said 30 originally, I think it was about 20, I cut some out, just going to show you the most interesting ones, and this one right here on your screen right now is probably my favourite, the blue Hoplites. They just look beautiful. Maybe they're Thracians? I don't know. Or Illyrians maybe, as we know Illyria was a faction. Yeah, that could have been interesting. Okay, now we have a Greek chariot, so yeah, these are Greeks, but in a light chariot. I'm going to be bringing up this image another day as well. I've got evidence that suggests that there may have been a Bronze Age campaign that was meant to be in Rome Total War, but didn't make it in the final cut. Now, it's not like as clear proof as the other campaigns, like the Scipio campaign and Caesar in Gaul for Rome Total War, but there's quite a lot that hints at a possible Bronze Age campaign, which I found interesting, and this would fit that quite well. Moving on, we've got, ignore the special effects sort of thing, but if you just look at the units, some weird Parthian missile cavalry, I'm guessing, dressed in blue. I just found it interesting. Next we have some Roman Pontic cavalry. These cavalry units here are for Pontus, but they're wearing Roman armour for some reason. Okay, moving on. We have ships. I doubt sea warfare was meant to be in the game, but these were found on Decisive Battles of the Ancient World, a TV show that used Rome Total War footage, but it was of course recorded about 6 months before Rome Total War released. Is this just design? More than likely, yes, but could it be possible that they had some plan for naval combat? Yes, that is also possible as well. Not much to say here, but you might find it interesting. We've got some interesting British units here. Weird shields. Next we've got, these people's bodies here are almost as good as mine. Some really strong looking British infantry there. A lot of these cut units are oddly British. They must have had a massive unit roster originally. Same again, we got British cavalry unit. Britain don't have cavalry, they have chariots in the game. But here we are, they've got a cavalry unit here which didn't make it into the final cut. This is not really a cut unit, but it's more just like a combination of some. I'm guessing it's just lots of units merged together, like lots of squads, but maybe it was meant to be planned as like a multi-ethnic unit. I don't know. Would have been interesting. What we have here are camels that can carry arrows. This is from the TV show. I doubt it would have been an actual mechanic, but imagine that your troops run out of ammo, some camels come by, and they can resupply the troops, like some interesting unique unit sort of thing, with a special ability. Could have been interesting. They were clearly in the game at some point, but that doesn't mean there were ever plans to be used. They might have just been for the TV show. Here we have some white Eastern infantry. Okay. Alright, now this is where it gets funny. We've got some Spartans here, but look at the length of those pikes. Like, they're not phalanxes. they're super tiny pikes, and we got more of them like this. Like, that's just ridiculous. Usually they'd be off the screen, but now they're tiny. And we got one more of them here as well, which just shows how ridiculous it is. Like, come on, that's not a phalanx. I just loved those images. Alright, we've seen these before, but I'm going to show them again. Cataphract units for Parthia. But they look slightly different. We've of course seen the dismounted version of these as well. And of course Parthia went by a different colour back then. It was a slightly darker purple, from what the information says. This here is a weird one. Yellow legions. Now, what I believe this is, I believe it's actually just the Seleucid Empire. They might have been a yellow in the original version maybe. Or maybe there was meant to be a fourth Roman family faction. Yeah, it could have been interesting. Maybe the Brutii were meant to be yellow. It's difficult to tell what these are, but yeah, they look Roman, but that doesn't mean they had to be Roman. They could have been like the Seleucid Empire or something. We got some Uruk-hais here. Not real Uruk-hais, but the swords are like very similar to their style, how they just like bend on the end like that. Yep, just found it interesting. Another British unit as well. Now we've got some medieval looking units in Rome Total War. Because these shields, these are not Roman era shields. This could have been like a Saxon unit. We got another one here, I prefer this. Maybe they were just for Germans, but a very late era unit that is possible, going more into the medieval era. Maybe it was a part of a lost campaign, perhaps, maybe a lost faction, the Saxons, for Rome Total War. I really don't know what this could have been, but yeah, it looks interesting. They look very medieval, and that's why I like them. Yeah, very medieval. These are just horrible to see, these shields. This is an Egyptian cavalry unit, but there's something about these shields that just does not look right at all. And why is the horse here Carthaginian? Like, we've got the white banner on it, but the actual unit is Egyptian. Weird. Okay, this next one I'm going to show you. This one's quite interesting. This is for Rome Total War. Remember that. Not barbarian invasion. Rome Total War. Okay, now this unit here, these are Huns, basically. These are the Huns in Rome Total War. It's not as epic as you think, because they use the Pontus colours. Now, this was used for the TV show Decisive Battles, to like try and sell the game. And they, of course, would have battles from different eras, so naturally they'll need a unit that looks like the Huns. They called them the Huns, the game files call them Huns. Maybe there was going to be a lost campaign, or maybe the Huns arrive as a horde faction later on. I don't know what the plan was, but yeah, the Huns, there's a lot of references to them being in the game, in Rome Total War, and in Barbarian Invasion. But as you can see by the colours, it's Pontus really. Pontus here, and then a bit of orange there. So I'm not too excited. Maybe it was just a unit that was meant for Pontus. They decided they didn't need it or didn't want it, and they just renamed it Huns for the TV show. But maybe I'm wrong. It could be literally anything. I've got no idea. And last but not least, one of my favourites, one of the weirdest looking ones so far, we got these. I don't even know where to begin. Okay, when I see the shields, what I see is a cross between Roman and Egyptian. And they're phalanx unit as well, so maybe this is Hellenistic Egypt. Of course, Egypt starts as in the Bronze Age, 2,000 years before the actual start date, making it super historically inaccurate. I've made an entire video on that. But maybe, of course, they did have plans to make it a Hellenistic faction. That didn't, of course, make it through. They went with Bronze Age, but this could be an example of a Hellenistic Egyptian unit. Or maybe it's German, I don't know. I could, of course, be talking complete rubbish and be completely wrong, but that's just my thoughts. That's all of them. Thank you to Erwin Rommel. Not that Erwin Rommel. Thank you to Erwin Rommel on Discord for sending me these images here. Just the guy on Discord. And yeah, so thank you to him for sending me these images. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more. I think next week, what we're looking at next week? Next week is 2 lost factions for Barbarian Invasion. Actually, I think there's 4 altogether. And some other interesting stuff as well. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next one. And goodbye.